Netflix's Baby Reindeer has given new meaning to the phrase stranger than fiction. However, some of the strangest details of the true story are the ones they decided to leave out. In the show, Donnie Dunn, the fictionalized version of real-life stalking victim Richard Gadd, is a struggling stand-up comedian with an odd sense of humor that often falls flat.
So I went vegan recently. Had to make some sacrifices.
However, by the time the events of the show took place in 2013, Gadd actually had a few television credits to his name, such as BBC comedy feats. None were major roles by any means, but Gadd had a bit more public prominence and career success than the Netflix show depicts. Since then, and before the 2024 release of Baby Reindeer, Gadd continued to get a number of TV roles, most prominently in the still ongoing time travel meets historical drama show Outlander. The point is this: how large a role did Gadd's career, if at all, play into the obsession of his stalker? The target of a stalker need not be successful and famous to be stalked, but a stalker won't exactly be dissuaded by such things either. We do know that the Camden, London pub where Gadd worked was a hotspot for celebrities like Amy Winehouse, Liam Gallagher, and Kate Moss. While we can't say for sure, it stands to reason that Gadd's celebrity-adjacent status might have played a role in his stalker's interest in him. As the show depicts, Gadd was relentlessly bombarded by calls, texts, emails, and DMs from Martha, the show's pseudonym for his stalker. This behavior persisted for 4 full years, and along the way, Gadd found out that he wasn't Martha's first and only target. The number of times she messaged him really drives home the seriousness of Martha's behavior. 41,071 emails, 744 tweets, 46 Facebook messages across 4 different accounts, and an unbelievable 350 hours of voicemail messages. She signed her emails "sent from my iPhone," despite not sending them from an iPhone. That being said, Martha also stalks Gadd via non-digital means. She visits him at work, sitting across the bar from him for hours and sipping on a single Diet Coke. She also shows up while he's doing stand-up and throws his whole performance off, shows up unannounced at his house, contacts his ex-girlfriend, and more. But the one thing that Baby Reindeer leaves out is Martha's letters. In real life, she wrote a full 106 pages of letters to Gadd. While it's not totally clear whether these letters were handwritten, it would take quite a commitment to write so much by hand, much more than a mere tweet tapped out in seconds. The content of these letters remains undisclosed and unknown. Baby Reindeer portrays Martha as disturbed, but also paints her as a fairly full, even sometimes sympathetic person.
Oh, crazy Martha. With her big brain. Joke's on her.
No, it's not like that.
This was Richard Gadd's intention when he wrote the show. As he told Tudum, stalking on television tends to be very sexed up. It has a mystique, but stalking is a mental illness. I really wanted to show the layers of stalking with a human quality I hadn't seen on television before. Out of all of Martha's disturbing yet humanizing behaviors in the show, it's her final voice message that stands out. In the message, she talks about a stuffed reindeer toy she had as a kid, how it was the only good part of her childhood, and how Donnie Dunn reminds her of the reindeer, hence the name of the show.
You are the spit of that reindeer. The same nose, same eyes.
While the real-life Martha did give a stuffed reindeer to Gadd, she also gave him other gifts, a woolly hat, and the unsettling combination of boxer shorts and sleeping pills. It's unknown why she chose these gifts or what she intended to accomplish, if such things crossed her mind. It's also unclear why this detail was omitted from Baby Reindeer, except perhaps to add to the effect of the final voice message. That being said, Martha's behavior as depicted in Baby Reindeer is distressing enough even without any of the gifts that her real-life counterpart gave Gadd. Besides changing the stalker's name, other elements of the character are fabricated as well. Given Gadd's intent to approach her portrayal with a certain level of empathy, this isn't surprising. Gadd recently told GQ, "We've gone to such great lengths to disguise her to the point that I don't think she would recognize herself. What's been borrowed is an emotional truth, not a fact-by-fact profile of someone." But even though Gadd took steps to conceal her identity, his alleged stalker has stepped forward into the public sphere anyway. First, she reached out anonymously to the Hollywood Reporter to give a very unfavorable opinion about the show, saying, "He's using Baby Reindeer to stalk me now. I'm the victim. He's written a bloody show about me." Then she reached out to the Daily Record and gave them permission to use her full name, Fiona Harvey. Why did she do this? Turns out, online sleuths had already more or less outed her by finding one of her social media posts from 2014 and matching it to one depicted in the show. Soon after, numerous publications used her name without permission, essentially leaving her with no choice but to come forward. She said, "Any semblance of a normal life I had is gone. It's open season on me, and this is my chance to speak out." She also threatened legal action, telling the publication, "It's a load of rubbish. I don't have any money, but I'm a capable lawyer, so I will represent myself." This leads us to the biggest thing Baby Reindeer left out, the real stalker's fate. In the show, police finally take action and arrest Martha. She pleads guilty to 3 counts of stalking and harassment and is sentenced to 9 months in prison. Donnie Dunn also takes out a 5-year restraining order on her. The last time they see each other is during her plea hearing.
Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty?
In reality, though, Harvey never faced any prison time. She told the Daily Record, "This is all made up in hyperbole. There are no restraining orders, injunctions, or interdicts anywhere. There's just no way. I've not had the police at my door about any of these things." It's important to note that Gadd, before Harvey came forward, made it clear to the Times that he didn't pursue charges in real life. Why didn't he? He told the publication that he, quote, "didn't want to throw someone who is that level of mentally unwell in prison." Taking this admission into account, and the fact that true stories are almost always altered in one way or another for the sake of drama, it's hard to say what kind of case Harvey will actually have if she does end up trying to sue Gadd for defamation or something along those lines. Whatever the case, the true story behind baby reindeer seems to be far from over. As she told the Daily Record, she plans on doing a major TV appearance soon. Who knows what else she has to say about these bizarre true events. If you or someone you know needs help with mental health, please contact the crisis text line by texting HOME to 741-741. Call the National Alliance on Mental Illness Helpline at 1-800-950-NAMI 6264 or visit the National Institute of Mental Health website.